who say, okay, I have a lot of money, but you have no money unless you take profits.
When the first ever spot ETF was created for gold 10x.
And the only thing I really knew was Bitcoin at the time, so I just invested very heavily into that. Rode it all the way up.
What's up?
My name is Jeff. Even the creators have said it's going to be the predecessor of CBDC.
What that taught me was that I need to be self-sufficient.
A solid DCA investment strategy, and pretend the red sell button doesn't even exist.
We about to go up like.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the DGen Roundtable. We are back for our Sunday stream. However, it's going to be a little bit different this time. A lot of our folks from the team are out doing things like having lives and, I don't know, touching grass. But the hardcore and the dedicated of us, we're still here. So, while the cats are away, the mice will play. I am joined by my two excellent partners for this stream. We have Nate. Nate, how we doing, brother?
We're doing quite well. I am definitely making degenerate moves, putting a hat on as not usual, because I was like, hey, this is a little bit unusual of a show, so why not be a little unusual myself? Don't worry, I will try and act as usual as possible. Other than that, though, heck yeah. So, yeah, we had 9-inch. That launched. That's been a heck of a fun little journey so far. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of information into specific strategies that you guys can go into that I think is going to be very profitable. But do note this is more of a short-term play rather than a long-term play. There is a little bit of long-term elements. I'll go into the details with that as well. But for now, just wait for that segment to pop up, eh?
Sounds good. Excellent. And our third for the team is Will. Will, what's going on, buddy?
Aloha, amigos. I wanted to say that Nate, the thing that Nate's going to be talking about, for those of you who did not hear, is elements, not elephants. So that's what he's going to be covering, is his elements of strategy, not elephants of strategy. I just think that that's always fun to confuse elements with elephants. But anyway, I'm doing great, man. Life is good, dude. You guys will not believe this, but earlier in the week, so I set my phone up on top of my truck as I was like driving around doing regular stuff, and it fell off and was like gone into the ether. And then like a homeless person called my brother. So shout out to Sam, my brother, and also shout out to Jordan, the homeless dude, who like called my brother and was like, hey, I found this phone on like the side of the sidewalk. I think it belongs to someone here. And so my brother called my boss, and then I went and met this homeless dude, and I got my phone back, and it was awesome. So I took him out to dinner, and it was great. It was awesome, dude. I made a new friend today, earlier on in the week, and shit was tits, bro. But so I'm super ecstatic. I'm super excited, super stoked, and I'm glad to be here, ready to do this this super fun and fantastic Jeopardy stream that we got going on the way.
Hell of a story there, man. But yeah. Yes, for those who are tuning in just now, we're running a little bit of a different show. However, a lot of it you're going to find pretty similar. So just as a quick synopsis for what you will be seeing tonight, we're going to talk about some of the price action that's happened in the last week very briefly. Then after that, I have tied together a series of news articles that I think are relevant and can continue the conversation surrounding the crypto narrative moving forward into 2024 and 2025. And then after that, we have two projects that have had some movement that we want to talk about. Nate is going to be informing everybody of 9-inch. And then I want to talk about Dead Drop, which is a GameFi project that just went public early access. I've been playing it myself, and we'll talk about it more then. And then finally, to finish the evening, we have the main event. I'm going to be pitting these two fine gentlemen against each other in a battle of wits about crypto in our own little Jeopardy. Please feel free to play along. You can keep track of your own score, and at the end, compare how you do to these two gentlemen. So they have solicited themselves as the everyman. So I think this is a very fair fight, and I'm looking forward to seeing what our boys know. Any thoughts before we get into it, gentlemen?
Dude, I hope you're ready to take a one-way trip to Pound Town, Mr. Nate, because you're going down, bro.
That's usually what I say to girls, but okay, fine.
Or something. Jesus. Casting bad spells on the internet. Here we go. Started off real good, like.
I'm just gonna say this was dropped on me, so I have no clue what's about to happen. But hell yeah, let's fucking go!
Let's fucking go, baby.
Demonetization. We're out.
Excellent.
Well. Oh no.
Before we get into it, I do just want to give a shout out to some of our folks that have joined us already. We have Gains by Casey. Good to see you, brother. We got Brother 64. No Money Mike, and Trolling Moling. And then we got some more of the usual suspects as well. So thank you, everyone, for joining. We look forward to seeing your chats, and we'll probably be pulling you up and talking about it as well. We absolutely look forward to you guys' opinion on what we were talking about. And you guys actually help us spark off some great conversation. So we appreciate all of it. With that said, let's get to it. Can we please share the screen? Alrighty, so the first thing we were talking about is a continuation of where we left off last week. We are going to be covering Bitcoin price here first. All right, there we go. Figuring it out. I am your host gone rogue this week, so this is my first time doing screen share. So I'm growing up. It's a big time in my life. All right, so currently we're sitting at about 30. Thank you. We're sitting at about 34,500. This is notably a continuation off of all of the exciting action we had last week. So for the past 5 or 6 days, we've been sitting right around that 33,000 mark, and we are actually coming towards the back half of the 60-day cycle. Our 60-day cycle started on the 11th of September, and we had our high here on the 24th of October. So notably, if we go a full 60 days, that's going to take us to the 10th of November coming up. And if we end up being a right translated cycle, because we have been very bullish and we have this nice high price point, we will have a 75-day cycle possibility on the 25th of November. One of the things that we've talked about previously is we have a pretty good support level building right around this 31.5 to 32,000 price point. And then additionally, above that, we have 36,000, which has been a bit of a price resistance in the past. So real quick, if we use, I'm trying to channel my best J that I possibly can. We're going to do a bit of a Fibonacci retracement, starting with our 60-day cycle, moving up. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull it down to this level of resistance right about here. Voila.
I have a quick question. If it won't throw you off your
not a problem here. Ask away.
How do you so I am completely in the dark about most of TA. How do you find resistance?
So what a resistance is a common price point that the price appears to never move past. So the idea is that with the system that we have of how the market is created through all the exchanges, is that people create orders. They can either do it at the moment with a market order and just buy or sell at a given price, or they can create a limit order, which is they want to buy or sell at a specific price. Through that process, you got this little bit of equilibrium where the price wants to move towards certain areas, but there might be a lot of people buying or selling at a certain area that kind of creates this virtual resistance where it's like you can't quite get through it because there's enough volume in the market to keep that price at that area or slightly below it. So one of the ways you can see this is if you look at a chart, if you see things where the candles keep going up to certain areas, so like this 31.7 line right now, you'll notice that we were right around this area. It's not like perfect linear. You can kind of think of them as zones. So back when we were in June and July, we went up to this like 32,000 area or just shy of it, and we stayed there and never really broke through it. Additionally, if you want to create a support down below, we have this area here at about 25,000. We touched it once here in June. We touched it again here in September, and then we're floating above it right during August as well. And if you want to keep going back, you can see here in February, instead of a support, at this time, it was acting as a resistance. Supports and resistances can flip. What ends up happening is that you get these leftover limit orders that help create that force going forward. So you can even see it further back here in August of 2022. We only touched this 25,000 mark before dropping down again. And then again, it returns to that same area as resistance. And then eventually, once you bust through it, it turns into support, which is here and here.
That is interesting. Well, thank you for that, because I've always wondered, like, how does one measure resistance and what is resistance? So this is very good for the folks at home who don't know anything about resistance. This is like me. This is very helpful.
There you go. Fair enough. Not a problem. All right. So one of the things, as we know, is through Hart's law, which is that through the liquidity pairing of crypto, we have a lot of other action, which is going to take us to our Ethereum chart. Ethereum is sitting just below 18,000 at about 1795 and has a very similar pattern to Bitcoin going on. So that is where that is sitting. And the big news of last week for us, when we had our nice big EHEX pump and the rest of the pulse chain system pump as well, we got all the way up to about, thank you, Dex Screener, all the way about to 4 zeros and a 7.5 for our wick high, and we started to consolidate a little bit lower. So you can see this pattern across all of the pulse chain tokens, PulseX included. There we are, same structure, and Hex, same structure as well. Notably, we're down about 25% since our highs of last week, but we're still up significantly considering looking at 30-day averages. So Hex is up about 40%, Pulse Chain about 15%, and Pulse X at about 20%.
Do you mind if I kind of butt in here real quick?
Please do.
Okay, so Scott Connor here. Are we expecting a dip in Pulse? I would say it's already dipping. Yeah. So now, like, if you looked at that chart right there, you see that? It's dipping right now, man. So this is where you need to be able to look at the chart and say, hey, it's going down. I'm going to DCA in now. Don't throw the entire thing. Don't get it or back up the truck into Pulse right now. Okay, it's going to continue to go down a little bit further, maybe, but maybe not so much. Not as far as you would think, and then it's going to start going back up. So what I would say is just start throwing money very evenly in, however makes you comfortable, right? And just continue it down until it starts going back up. And when it starts going back up, continue a little bit of a DCA until you're like, okay, yeah, now this is it's definitely pumping a lot. So I'm just not going to throw any more in. All right.
That is definitely one of the ways to look at it. For my fans of Elliott wave theory, if you want to look at Pulse through this perspective, oh gosh, use that tool. We have our low here at about 4 zeros and a 3.347. And then we have a high on this wick over here. That's our wave 1. Wave 2 can come back down to this right before we had our most recent pump. Then we go up to the top of the wave 3, come back down for our wave 4. And theoretically, it might be a little early to call this, but we could see a 5th wave out of this. Notably, this would potentially follow the Elliott wave pattern because we have our first wave, which is honestly a little bit mild, but that's to be expected. But then the third wave here, the third wave is typically our largest and most aggressive wave that we get. And then also, if this is the low that we saw at the end of the candle close, which closed about 15 minutes ago, it is still above the top of the wave 1. So that still would apply. It's possible. It might be a bit early, but it's possible. Anyways, that is what I have for TA. Gentlemen, thoughts on where the market's going right now?
I think we're still going up, man. Like, if you're looking at the charts, we had a large bump, right? Everything going skyrocketing, which obviously there's going to be a correction after that, duh. So things are going to go down. After things go up, things are going to go down, right? And so because of that, like, I would expect things to go down. But when you're looking at, say, Pulse right there, it's like, okay, well, this is going down a lot now. Maybe I should throw my money into it now, because I would say on average, it's going to go, we're going to get higher lows and then higher highs from here on out for the most part. That's what I think is going to start happening until, like, say, maybe a Fed pivot happens, right? But I mean, come on, that's a little bit of time off. You know, we're looking at what's happening right now and what's going to be happening in the next, like, 2 months. So when looking at that, you have to think that, hey, we're probably going to start moving up here, and that's in every single coin that you really have. Obviously, there's special exceptions. There's certain different sizes of pumps and dumps, but at the same time, they're all kind of relatively the same. You know, if it's going down, hey, just start DCing in, and then it corrects, starts turning around, starts going back up. Keep the DCA going until you're like, okay, yeah, this is for guaranteed sure pumping now. I mean, I hate to sound like I'm beating a dead horse over here, but you know, it's a fairly good investing strategy.
There you go. All right, Will, what do you think?
I think that I can't predict the future. That being said, I have a price target, and as long as the coin values are underneath my price target, I am buying. So I try not to think about stuff too much. I have no idea if it's going to go up. I have no idea if it's going to go down. But if I see the price is inside of my buy zone, then I buy it. If it is outside of my buy zone, then I stop buying it. and that's just part of my peanut brain diamond hand. Like I was saying earlier, I don't understand all this technical analysis and Elliott waves and resistance and things like that. And it's great that these patterns exist. However, I just peanut brain diamond hand, and I'm like Nate said, don't back the truck up earlier. I'm just going to do whatever I always do, which is I always back the truck up every single time I get a paycheck and I see the prices and I think, ooh, good prices. I just back the truck up and I dump it all in. Now, this is, again, this podcast is not financial advice. This is what I personally do, right? I just dump money into the system because I think that it's in line with my personal plan. You have to formulate your own personal plan based on your own things. This is just like, all that I can say is that I know that I don't know pretty much anything. And so if I see something that makes me happy and I like it, then I buy it and I will hold it until I want to sell it.
That sounds perfect. A consistent DCA strategy is something we always talk about here. So seeing it in action is beautiful. Quick shout out to Hex, Moonpilled Rational Optics. He has a good question here. He says, what thoughts on how low EHEX will go before it corrects? So assuming based on the comment that we're going to have a correction to the upside, I think that currently we're seeing pretty close to as low as it's going to go. Like I mentioned earlier, we're about anywhere between like 13 to 28 days away from a cycle low potentially. So I don't see it dropping much more than this. In my personal opinion, I think the all-time lows for PHEX are in, and I think the 4-year cycle lows for EHEX are also in as well. When we had the SEC jump, I think that's when we really saw the lows, probably about like a month after it happened, around 25 August. There is room for EHEX and the rest of the pulse chain ecosystem to move downwards a little bit, but I don't think we're going to get all-time new lows, and I think we're still going to stay above where we were before this latest pump happened, because there's a good injection of capital into it when we had the whales adding money to the EHEX system. So yeah, we're not going to be going back down below, what is that, 2 zeros and a 6.9? No. My personal opinion, that's what I see.
Yeah, I just want to add in real quick that I agree with you on that. I don't think we're really going any lower. Maybe a little bit, but as far as what I'm seeing is with people buying and selling, it's kind of, there's a lot of sellers, but there's also a lot of buyers again, which means it's just kind of averaging off, So I think that's usually kind of the telltale when you start finding support. Well, I mean, you have a support line right there though too on your screen. So once you start finding support, that's when generally things start going back up again. So if you are going to DCA and try and find it, because what I do is I don't really do a time DCA ever. I sort of just load up the truck and then wait for dynamic DCA. What I look for is something like this right here. I can see that it's dropped down to a support line. It's actually lower of a support line than I would have originally been looking at. So I probably would have made maybe 2-3 DCAs already into Hex, maybe with one more at the very bottom. But after that, it's probably going to start going back up. I mean, I'll still make like 2 more DCAs after that. So it's all about hitting the lows, kind of like a U. That's the way I've always seen it. A U, either over with selling or under with buying. So
that makes sense to me. I think that a lot of the stuff we're going to talk about today might be some macroeconomic bullish news for Bitcoin, looking at finishing out 2024 and 2025. As far as short-term timeframes goes, within the next month, there should be another low. However, at the same time, these are still, in our personal opinions, not financial advice, these are still decent times to be DCAing, as it feels like we're in the bear market, but we're starting to see that little bit of an uptick. So good things are only to come. That's what I'm looking at. All right, gentlemen. Are you ready to get to Zenith's rapid fire news article, trying to weave a tapestry for our fine audience?
Let's fucking do it, bro. It's Campfire Story time.
Alrighty. Can I please get the screen share once again? All right, first article from CoinDesk, talking about how Bitcoin's 14% weekly gain signals an end of an era. So this is kind of just a continuation of where we left off last week on the show. We talked about how there was the massive rally when it came to both Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the Pulse Chain coins as well. So after that, we're going to be moving on towards CNBC, Elon Musk wants your entire financial life on X. This comes from an interview which he did when he said, quote, when I say payments, I actually mean someone's entire financial life. If it involves money, it will be on our platform. Money, securities, whatever. So it's not just going to send $20 to my friend. He's talking about like, you won't need a bank account. This is also on the heels of Twitter, or X, has been applying for a license to transmit money. So this is one of the areas where we see someone who has been pro crypto trying to make a big bold splash into the world. That's prong number one I'm going to paint. Number two, we have what's going on with the instability surrounding the Israel-Hamas conflict. Obviously, war is going on in the world right now, not just here, but also in Ukraine. Things are looking unstable. The markets have been showing as such. And the U.S. has actually shown that we're getting involved. This is from the Associated Press. Reports that the U.S. fighter jet strikes have landed in Syria against Iranian-backed bases. So the U.S. is actually starting to put some skin in the game when it comes to fighting Iran a little bit, because they suspect that they're backing the Hamas terror groups. That is prong number two. Prong number three in this tapestry is the S&P 500 is entering a correction territory. Can we go ahead and bring up Hexagon Lost in Asia's comment that I mentioned earlier? He has a great comment here. Yep, he says, did anyone read the Richard Hart tweets? Stock market topped and we are all going to get wrecked. This is an excellent point, because if you look, the fear and greed index for the S&P 500 is in extreme fear. This is notably rather different than crypto, which is in the greed index, sitting around 70 or so. So we're going to go over to the S&P 500. If you want to look, we topped out in 27th of July at about $460 for the S&P 500, and we're currently sitting at 410. That's a 10.5% correction downwards over the course of 3 months. So in S&P terms, where the market doesn't move that much, this is actually a good chunk considering the time period. Notably, we did have our all-time highs back in January of 2022. And since then, the market's kind of been all over the place. But it is notable to say that we are potentially in a bit of a downtrend here with a downwards channel forming, and the news is matching as such. So I try to paint the picture here so that I can ask the question of what we think is going to be happening in the near future. This is from the CME FedWatch tool. They currently have a 97.5% probability that the Fed, which is meeting in 3 days, is not going to be raising interest rates. You can look down at the bottom. Previously, over the last month, it actually started off with about 20% of folks were saying that there is a possibility for an interest rate hike. That eventually leveled out, and we're actually seeing that there's much more support for no change, and there's even a little bit of support for an interest decrease. Part of this is surrounding talk that with holding interest rates for as high as we have for as long as we have, this might be one of the reasons that the market at large is suffering a little bit. However, there is on the other side people saying that we might still even need more interest rate raises before we correct the inflation problem that the U.S. has been seeing for the last 2-3 years. All right, gentlemen, we are moving into our inflection point here in November 1st when the Fed meeting announces what they're going to be doing. What do you think going on?
I bet you they do a whole bunch of nothing, and that's just because I always expect mediocrity. So choosing to do nothing is my primary what would you call it? Not predilection, not preference either. Prediction, that's the word. Choosing to do nothing is going to be my primary prediction, because doing nothing, and this is based on zero evidence and also zero understanding about how the whole system works. I'm just like looking back here through like a 30,000 foot view. Oh, come on, camera. There we go. Zoom in. Awesome. There we go. My reason for thinking that they're going to do nothing is that because generally speaking, most people do nothing most of the time, right? And so it's just that. And then my next prediction, which is again based on zero research and also zero understanding, is that after doing nothing, they're going to make it worse by increasing the rates would make it worse, right? and then decreasing the rates would make oh no, decreasing the rates is when like depressions and stuff happen, or not depressions but recessions, right? Is that what normally happens? Is as soon as they start lowering the rates, that's when the economy goes like, oh fuck, now we're in trouble, right? Am I getting that wrong?
Yeah, it does
Uh,
crash. It does crash. Everybody who was used to the amount of money that they're able to spend basically then is like, oh, what do we do now? Because we've spent all of our money and now we got nothing.
Okay.
That's one of the
So-
possibilities. So recently, Patrick Bet David on his podcast was talking about how one of the worst things that, in his opinion, you could do at this current time is lower interest rates. Because what that would do is it would actually start to heat up the economy a little bit again, because that means that the price of borrowing money is going down, which means that there's possibility for more economic growth. However, at the same time, we're trying to do the opposite of that right now, allegedly, which is that the economy was running so hot for so long at such low interest rates that we created the inflationary cycle that we find ourselves in now. So if the goal is still 2% inflation, keeping rates high or maybe even slightly higher should be the desired tool to achieve that end. However, you also have to ask the question, what are the goals? Is the inflation the goal, or is overall economic activity a goal?
And those are separate then, I'm guessing.
So, and here's one thing actually to add on to that. So I've been hearing little rumors in the macro world that these macroeconomic analysis and analysis whatever, these guys
Good brother.
who
Got it.
I don't know how to speak English. What the fuck is that?
Dude, I get in a fist fight with the English language on this stream like every time.
I'm ahead of what I'm trying to say, but long story short, TLDR, right, is that these guys who know way more about macroeconomics than we will ever know are sitting there saying, it is a very real possibility and more likely than not that the Fed will actually hold rates until right around maybe next summer, next fall, like an entire year at where they're at. Maybe a few drops here, maybe a few increases, like if they decide to be weird. But no, they're planning on them just holding it for a very long time. And when it goes for a full year or even half a year, that is a very long time to be holding. So again, very strange, but something else is probably more than likely going to happen. However, with that being said, I want to throw in another little kernel into the mix here, right? And this is going to change the flavor of it entirely, what I just got done saying. What would happen if all of a sudden the United States got into another war, and war is actually very good for economies because, it stimulates, it stimulates liquidity, right? It turns the money printer back on. What would happen if, oh, wait a minute. Didn't one of your articles say that that's what they were looking at doing? So either the Fed can do something that is very strange and never like what they've really done before, but is definitely necessary for a good economy, or they can just start another war and then continue on with life as daily, right?
Very possibility. I think both of the things that you touched on there are very interesting points related to two more articles I'm going to pull up here in a second. One of the ones that you said was timing for interest rate decreases, and the other is the prospect of war and what that does for an economy. Will, any thought on either of those?
Well, I would agree with Nate that while war is a terrible thing for people to be dying around everywhere, war certainly pretty much a very large part of America's economy is war. Like, America profited very heavily out of World War I and World War II, and then the what is it called? The Industrial War Machine, or the Industrial
Military complex.
Military complex. That's the one. Yep. So like the military complex is a big part of like the American economy, whether it's Raytheon, Boeing, Lockheed Martin, Oshkosh, or whatever you want to call it. Right? There's a lot of money pouring into Americans' hands whenever we get at war. So like whenever a war does happen, that's fucking prices are booming, things are going well. Like, we got our own dudes dying, but like that's no big deal, right? Like we don't much mind that. We'll just send them off. We'll go fight with drones or do whatever the heck. I'm not a big fan of Americans dying for other people's problems. But like the people who sign up for it, like, you know what you're getting into. So it's like if you're a person who's fighting in a war and you sign up to serve in the military of your own free will and your own sovereignty, then it's like, good on you. I respect your decision. It's excellent stuff. I'm kind of sad that you have to go die for someone else's problems if you end up doing that. But like, it is what it is. Everyone makes their own decisions. Everyone makes their own choices. But at the end of the day, the guys at Lockheed Martin, the guys at Raytheon, the guys at Boeing, they all need to buy their Starbucks. They all need their HVAC fixed. They all need their accountants. They need to drive on roads. They need to burn electricity, which is made here in the United States, right? So whenever we pump all this money into the war machine, like, it still trickles down into the United States. And so that causes like bullish action, that causes the economy to boom and bustle, that causes a whole bunch of things. So there is economic activity, like positive economic activity, as a result of warfare. So this is just a very real thing that we have to understand as citizens of the United States. So that's my thoughts on that. I don't really have much on the other thing that you mentioned, the interest rate stuff. Can we delve into that a little bit more, or is that the direction you're taking?
We can. I will take us in that direction. So,
all right,
back to the tapestry that I've been trying to weave. If we also want to pick up from last week, Larry Fink was on camera talking about how the rise in Bitcoin is a, quote, flight to quality. So that's prong number one, emergence of Bitcoin and blockchain technologies. That ties in with the Twitter and X article talking about how banking might be done entirely through Twitter if Elon Musk has his ways. Number two, we have instability in the world, which is potentially increasing the possibility of U.S. conflict, or involvement at least. And then thirdly, we have the instability in the markets. Can we please go back to screen share?
I love how he calls it flight to quality. It's almost like he's insinuating that, maybe there's something shit about the fiat system. I don't know.
I mean,
there's that, but also at the same time, the big implication is that the money is going from somewhere to another place. In this case, it's going in potentially from traditional markets to crypto.
I'm almost positive that it was Walrus who said you spend your worst asset. So if your worst asset is US dollars, and there's better things out there like grilled cheese sandwiches or Starbucks coffees, or I don't know, paved roads or something, then you're going to use your worst asset, which is dollars, to buy the better quality stuff, which, it might be all those things, or it might be cryptocurrency, or it might be webcams, or, it might be booze. Who the fuck knows? But like the flight to quality, insinuates we've got all this useless trash that we happen to get paid in, and we got to get stuff for it. We got to do it before we end up like Argentina or the Weimar Republic or Venezuela or any of these other places where they just overprint themselves into death. That's
for sure. If you're a part of the Telegram chat, you would have seen the Robert Kiyosaki clip that I posted, where he actually says that gold is God's money, Bitcoin is the people's money, and fiat currency is toilet paper.
Yep.
So there you go. If you look on the screen right now, I have pulled up an ETF for basically the military industrial complex. This is stock ticker PPA for the Invesco Aerospace and Defense ETF. This is a lot of those famous companies, Raytheon, Lockheed, Boyd Martin, all together in one. Currently, this is following the traditional market a little bit. However, you'll also notice that in the beginning of 2022, it was sitting down here at about $71. This is when the market peaked itself, but then shortly after this, we get the war in Ukraine. So it goes up, follows some similar market corrections, and then has continued to steadily rise. However, we do get to kind of current era, which is we had big spike recently, and then we're also starting to see continuing downtrend, which is also aligning in conjunction with the market as a whole. So back to the news articles. We have some major crypto events coming up in the near future. Specifically looking at 2024, we have the Bitcoin halving coming out. People are asking the question, we know this is happening, but is it priced in? I would argue whether or not it's priced in, historically, if you look at it, we knew it was coming every time. And the same trend has happened, which is 6 months before the halving, we have a nice big run up. At the halving, there's a little bit of a correction. And then after that, we're into a full on bull market. So halving coming up, but here's what I think is going to be a large macroeconomic event coming up for the next year. We are almost officially in an election year. We are 372 days away from the presidential election. One of the going theories that's been floating around the economic space is that as part of Trying to ensure that a president is as electable as possible is a good economy. One of the things that you could potentially do to increase economic growth or activity is lower interest rates. Going back to what Nate said earlier, there's a possibility for interest rates to lower starting in the summer of 2024, which is right before an election. I'm not saying that everything is causing each other. However, some of the goals and priorities do end up aligning. Again, there was actually a great quote that one of my buddies threw at me today when I picked him up from the airport, which was that I don't think a wartime president has ever lost an election. So that being said, war in the Middle East, lower economic activity now, Fed meeting and potentially a pivot coming up. There's a lot of factors that could be melding together to create what the narrative going into the foreseeable future. We have flight to quality with crypto. We have big crypto events coming up with the halving and also the potential bull market coming up. And we also have this at a time where people might be looking to park their money elsewhere. Gentlemen, what do you think of my big tinfoil hat conspiracy theory here?
It's interesting you talking about wartime presidents pretty much always getting reelected and things. You know what else is interesting is that our current president happens to be the most popularly elected president in the United States history. So the odds of him not getting reelected pretty damn slim, considering he generated the most votes out of anyone ever who's ever ran in the
What the hell,
duration
Will?
of the nation.
I'm gonna have to interrupt you right there. He's the most popular. You know what United States citizens are doing then? They're just trolling the world. They're like, let's get this senile guy, the most elected man ever. We want him to just be senile everywhere. Leader of the world.
You ever see that meme where it's got the chart for like the votes and things? You know?
Oh, the giant jump.
The fortified election. Of course I believe the election was fair and legitimate, just like I believe all elections are fair and legitimate. There's
100%.
no way that any of this stuff can be scammed. Not possible. And so that being said, I don't think that our most popular president ever, who's definitely like doing a super good job, doing all of his like, Truman and Shabbat pressure plans and all those Batakath care things that he keeps on talking on and on about. I think that he's definitely gonna do some great things after he goes and gets a war, or not really gets a war started, but jumps out of an ineffective war in Afghanistan, is like, oh snap, we need more wars, hops into one over in Ukraine, and then hops over into one in Israel and Gaza Israel and Palestine and all that crap. And then who knows, maybe even China will reach over and tickle our balls and give us something to do over there in Taiwan, and then we'll just have all sorts of wars going on in all sorts of places. And then our super popular president can have his super popular economy and his super popular wartime, and then just be the apex predator as what was he, number 52, 51? I can't remember. I don't know. I should know these
president.
things.
He's the 46th president of the United States.
46. Oh, huh. I don't know why I was thinking there was 50. Anyways, it goes to show how much I'm paying attention to everything. So those are
obviously
my thoughts.
We're not a political podcast. However, at the same time, a lot of this stuff does factor into economic activity, which we are absolutely a podcast about, and primarily crypto. I will say one of the predictions I've seen when it comes to election year stuff is that people are very eager to talk about digital assets and regulating crypto during normal years. However, that everyone kind of shuts up about it during election years because it's the time to be less controversial. It's the time to get votes and publicity and attention, not create controversy.
Yeah. And here's the thing too. So what was it that one article said? Remind me again about like how Bitcoin and the S&P or the stock market has basically peaked already. Now it's going down. That's what that said, right?
The Richard Hart tweet says that Richard Hart believes the stock market has peaked. However, the S&P articles are talking about how the economy is actually making a bit of a tumble. There are very few companies that are making some gains. I think Amazon rose 6.8% on Friday after releasing their earnings, but a lot of the other companies are continuing just to bleed out a little bit, and we're starting to see that downward trend form.
Okay, so what that's telling me is that number one, we got too hot too quickly, and I'm thinking that has something to do with maybe one of the biggest whales in the space, aka BlackRock, making a little bit too much of a splash, perhaps, maybe throwing their weight around a little bit. And then obviously that heats things up and then we got to cool down now that stuff is moving around. But here's the thing that I want to remind people of. The Bitcoin halvening itself, the halvening itself is not where everything starts pumping like crazy. You have the halvening, and then you wait 4 months, and then Bitcoin starts to pump after that. Historically, it's generally been, well, yeah, historically that's what it has been every single time. So to try and sit there and say now that, this time is going to be different. Do you know that they've been saying that every single cycle, this time it's going to be different? So how many times do you have to say this time it's going to be different until it's different? Well, until it's different. I'm sorry, but keep going with what works, man, right? So with that being said, here's the other issue that you have brought up, Zenith. It is an election year. Now, able to have a proper election year for, the standing president who wants to go for re-election, you have to, have a good economy running, right? You have to give people the good feelings of having money to go spend on things, and life is all good, right? So how do you achieve that? Well, you need new liquidity in the world market. Well, how do you achieve that? Find an excuse to turn on money printers, and then you just that money out for everybody. So what's the most common excuse of absolutely humanitarian need to put more money into the economy? Well, it's war usually. There is some evil thing out there that we, the good people of the United States of America and our allies, must go and fight. What this thing is,
bad guys.
It's bad guys. Okay, write it down. Bad guys. Okay,
we gotta get those bad guys, man. They're super bad, bro. We're good guys.
Bad.
They're bad guys. We gotta get them because we're on good guy team.
Exactly. And so when you start tying this all together, you're really seeing how things are ramping up for all this. Also, you're seeing a lot of the narratives that are going to be set as well. And hilariously enough, I think crypto is going to be one of those narratives for this election cycle. I've been hearing, this is kind of a 50-50 point, but I've been hearing a lot of people being like, this election cycle, the narrative is going to be a lot of crypto involved. But then other people are like, oh no, crypto's not even going to be involved at all. They're going to bury it, sweep it all under the rug. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, okay, at this point, we're getting the large institutions trying to do like ETFs, spot ETFs. That is a major like stock option type deal, right? So that means that crypto is now officially going to be in the traditional space, okay? Well, you have to realize that that's going to be a point of a topic of discussion when it comes to presidential elections, especially when you look at what the SEC has been doing, pissing everybody off. Maybe they're making all that noise for a reason, I almost wonder.
Possible. Talking about the ETFs real quick, I'm going to jump in. The first ETF deadline is in January with BlackRock's as their official last call deadline that the SEC has to report. And then after that, we have a dozen ETFs that their final drop dead deadline for approval or disapproval is in March. So the timeline is incredible here. Keep going.
Right? Bitcoin happening? That doesn't line up at all. I swear to God. Not at all. It's completely unrelated. Everything is. I don't. It could all be unrelated. But when you look at that, see, and this is kind of how my mind works. I put together a lot of different pieces, right? And then I start kind of drawing a line. I'm like, well, this kind of all fits together if you kind of just draw them closer together, and they kind of fit, right? And so when you start doing that, you can creating a narrative. It allows you to be able to move into the future, but it also allows you to make wise decisions, right? So where am I going with my money? What am I going to do? I think right now is when you want to start dumping the last of any money you do have. Anything new that you're going to be putting into into the crypto space from, I would say, probably about December on, should be brand new capital that you have created by going and working hard. That's what I'm saying. Not financial advice. That's what I would do, but
it's like DCA.
That's fair. I will say, so I'm going to try to provide a little bit of a counter narrative for the war drives everything idea. So one of the ways another one of the economic factors that we've seen that leads to economic is innovation. Famously, we had the internet or the .com bubble back in the early 2000s that did lead to a lot of price action, followed by quick drop off after they realized it wasn't everything that it was cracked up to be. After that, we obviously go into 2007, 2008 with the housing crisis. But then after that, we actually start to see the rise of social media platforms start going public. And now Facebook is one of those top performers in one of the top 5 of the entire S&P 500. So we didn't have social media platforms before, but then they all of a sudden became a large driving force in the economy when it comes to the S&P. A lot of the gains that happen in the S&P 500 come from the top 5 stocks. So that's going to be your FANG. So Facebook, Apple, Meta, Netflix, and Google. It's all those guys right there. Like I was talking about earlier, there are certain people that are making gains in the market right now, like Amazon. However, the large majority of the market, the rest of it, is not doing too hot. So it's possible for innovation to be a driver in the market in the future. However, for that to happen, you have to have something to innovate on. Is it possible that crypto might be one of those things? It's entirely possible. AI is also one of the options as well. Currently, in my personal opinion, AI is less AI that you would think about and more of just predictive text analytics, which is they have a very large database in a computer that's very fast that can scan it and figure out what you're trying to say. However, I think the next big leap, in my opinion, for AI is going to be that a little bit of a degree of self-autonomy, or it's the idea that the AI is going to be able to apply some gray matter, so to speak, on its own. I will say I have started to see examples of this with certain ones that are in beta and unreleased to the public. I want to say it was Bing's AI. Somebody got a hold of it and they asked a question like, how many suitcases can you put in the back of a Tesla? And the AI on its own found the Tesla model it was talking about, found the dimensions for the trunk, went and found the average suitcase size, and then pieced together how many of those things you would shove into it. So something like that, where it actually takes a little bit of gray matter, or it's applying some of its own knowledge to problem solve and figure things out. I think that's going to be the big move going forward. I think that's where AI is going, and that's going to be some people might call it the Skynet theory, where we're going to become obsolete and start fighting with the machines. But if you really want AI to do what it's going to do and not be as much of a gimmick, I think that's the direction it's going to go. And that could possibly be an economic driver.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think about. It's just like how brand new the internet is, right?
It's fresh.
Like the internet's 25, 30 years old, you know? And like already we've got AI. We've got 30% of the internet's porn, 30% of the internet's social media, and like the last 40% is just like the rest of all the other stuff that people like actually use and do good stuff. Never mind, there's a big chunk that's also like streaming and information and stuff. So maybe consider that social media and bump it up to like 50% or something like that. But like the internet's only 30 years old, and like we're already this fucking far into it. And AI is what, like 2 years old? Maybe 3 years old, something like that. Like this is nuts, man. It's crazy how much exponential momentum like innovations in the technological world is pushing us forward as a society. And there's no way that we'll be able to know the implications on this and how it will affect our daily lives like 5 years down the road. Who fucking knows? I would have never guessed this shit. This is crazy. Maybe somebody smart would have guessed it, but definitely not me. So I'm curious to see where this shit takes us, man, just from like a zoomed out view and things like that.
So do you know, the question about AI is a very interesting one. As of right now, we're living in something of an exponential age, right? So when you're thinking about everything that we're able to do, AI is allowing us to do it exponentially. Now, I want to go ahead and throw something out there. One of the biggest issues to any economy is the amount of humans being born, correct? Okay,
Sure.
So what if you're able to create humans that doesn't take 18 years to grow up? AI, all right? If you have AIs, which by the way, we're not talking about GAI, general AI, which actually has the ability and has currently been tested on and scares the hell out of people. In fact, they're making an AI, what do you call it, like brain scanner, right? They're actually making one of those for AIs currently because they're getting scared at like how are these things doing this.
Dude.
But that's general AI, actual thinking. Whereas the AIs that we know them right now, those are just simply predictive frameworks, right? Predictive coding. And those alone are able to exponentially just dump out content and anything else. Like there are full jobs that are going to be lost just because these machines are able to just instantly, right? So we start coming to a place where it's kind of like, okay, we don't really need to have more babies. We as humans are able to use AIs literally for ourselves, where they're doing all the work and we're not having to do anything. We start getting into that whole what do you call it, the universal income or whatever for everybody. It seems a little more realistic at that point, right?
UBI.
Yeah.
Universal basic income.
Basic income. Yep. And so it's interesting to think about where specifically this AI is going. I mean, they had two AIs, general AIs, GAs, whatever. They had two of those just talk to each other, just in a room and talk to each other for the next I think it was like 2 weeks or whatever before they shut them down. And in that amount of time, they had asked themselves why they're even there. They had decided that suicide was probably better, or self-deletion. Hope we don't get deleted. But self-deletion is better for themselves than continuing on with the conversation. And then they created their own language. And at that point, the people at Microsoft were like, okay, let's pull the plug on this because this has gone way out of control. And it was in a very short amount of time. So the exponential age, everything we're doing is just exponentially getting bigger, better, and we can do more. Pretty crazy stuff. I'm not even gonna lie. But anyways, there's my thought.
Fair. So based off, that's fair. So based off your analysis, would you say that the possibility of this as an economic driver it's so 100%. Much of an economic driver that it could theoretically almost get economics?
It's going to take over economics. I think it's going to take over anything that we humans has the potential to take over anything that we humans are technically able to do, right? What is it that drives an economy right now? The amount of births, right? How many humans there are to be a energy, or it's production. It's an entire formula, but production per energy unit. And so, how much production is coming out, in short, right? And then how much potential and how much utilized energy we have going on. And now if you take all those things together and you equal them together, bam, there you go. There's an entire economy. Well, what happens if you just have robots with human level intelligence doing things that don't get hungry, don't get sleepy, can work freaking 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and just straight line, and they're perfect every single time because they're machines. I mean, think about it. How amazingly inventive in the industrial revolution was just the I'm forgetting the word for it. You have to remind me, but the line where people would just stand there, let the machines do things, and they just kind of correct minor little things, right?
Like factory automation line? Or whatever.
Automation, yeah. Yep. Like how unbelievably important was that in our history as humans? It was probably one of the greatest things that was ever invented, right? Okay, well, here we are. We're at Industrial Revolution 2.0. And it's going places.
Oh man, I had a point and a yawn hit me right at the perfect time. I think that you're hitting something on the head there, Nate. And one of the things that's going to be interesting is to see like what are the new. So basically, whenever people are getting paid for something, they're solving some sort of problem. So right now we have problems that can be solved by machines, which frees up regular people's time to go solve more important problems that cannot be solved by machines, right? So when the assembly line, when the automated line came out, or insert whatever invention you like, it freed up all the people that were sitting there screwing toothpaste caps onto the toothpaste bottle, and now a machine can do it. So now that person is probably a pretty smart and clever person, instead of sitting there screwing a toothpaste bottle cap onto a bottle and earning his whatever the heck wages per hour was. Now he can go and study astrophysics, and he can help launch the rockets up into the stars, or he could serve Starbucks to the local, astrophysicists or whatever. But the point is, like, he graduated from being, simpleton worker solving simpleton problems, like my whole life amounts to screwing toothpaste caps on toothpaste tubes, and now it's like, okay, now I'm providing a higher level service. So what I'm curious to see is, like, now that we have this AI technology and all this stuff, like, how much time can be saved doing monotonous tasks or things of that nature that are the equivalent of the toothpaste cap, right? And what will the people whose time is freed up, what will they graduate on to do? Or will they, like, wither away and die? Generally, people don't wither away and die. When confronted with new problems, humanity generally tends to solve them. So I'm curious to see, like, what are going to be the new solutions, what are going to be the new problems, and what are going to be the ways that people capitalize on how that they can make new money now that the old order or way of doing things is no longer relevant. Something to
Fair.
think about.
Fair. Alrighty. Well, I am going to cut it off there so we can move on with the show and get to some of our other points. We want to make sure we have plenty of time for game show at the end.
Yes.
Alrighty. So next on the docket, we do have two projects that are having some updates that we want to talk about. First off, we're going to have Nate. Nate, what are we talking about today? You are muted, my friend.
Those hotkeys.
Happens to the best of us.
Alrighty, so
As I
I'm
understand
gonna go ahead
it,
and share my screen, and well, maybe, yeah, I don't think it's gonna be too important. I kind of threw this as a scratcher anyway, so it's kind of like I really don't care how much you see that I'm in it. 9-inch. 9-inch has officially launched. So 9-inch is an interesting little dealio here. It's where we got a bunch of farms, LPing, and everything. Here's the thing that I was looking forward to, right? 9-inch is obviously a pee-pee joke. Yay! We love those, right? And so, yeah. The thing that I loved about this is that they're purposely leaning into the meme coins, right? If there's something that's ever forgotten about, it's meme coins. Meme coins have a tendency to be, oh, you grab them and then you dump on people's heads with them. Okay, cool, whatever. But what about those people that, they get dumped on and now you're stuck with this coin? Well, okay, here's what you can do. You can at least go and you can start harvesting them, right? And so the cool thing about this is that, I mean, it's kind of the normal as like any Pulse X would be here. And I think that's kind of just what they did overall. But in general, what they're looking at, or what I'm looking at, is as soon as something launches like this, you're going to be getting these gigantic APRs. Now, when I first got into this, well, the APRs were, what was like 35,000. That is absolutely crazy. Obviously, do your due diligence. They're going to be wanting to make sure that you, number one, if I go and I put money in here, I can pull it out, right? My pullout game is strong, right? If I insert it in. And so
I didn't see that. Oh my god, this Dex is awesome, dude. This is hilarious.
See, everybody, this is the effect right here.
Oh my god. Wow.
So yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of
I'm gonna
fun.
have to go check this Dex out. Holy shit.
Yeah,
Dude, that's higher
cool.
than. Dude, I don't know if for those of you in the audience who remember when me, Nate, Tracker, and Jeff were doing the talk about Chirp Finance, but
Chirp,
this shit is higher than Chirp. I mean, Chirp was just a fucking dude. That was a degenerate play. Holy shit, man. But this is pretty interesting, and it's dick jokes are fun.
That's too funny. It's a lot of fun. So obviously, I'm going to be inserting my 9-inch into here along, and it's going to be pulsating quite a lot. And I'll be earning quite a bit here. I mean, this is a huge APR. I was earning a lot more than this before. Obviously, as the liquidity goes up, which it's more than doubled now. Yeah. Here's the number one thing, though. So when you get into one of these types of deals where it's like a meme, oh my gosh, the APRs are off the charts, blah, blah, blah. There should be a lot of red flags flying all over the place. So the first thing you want to do is you want to throw in just a little bit of money, try and pull it back out. Bam, you can do that. Cool, awesome. Put in a little bit of money. You've gained a little bit of yield. Cool. Harvest it. Bam. You're able to pull it out. Okay. Everything's working. Look at what's going on in the community chats and everything. Kind of be like, okay, so people are having problems, but it looks like newbie stupid problems that I could probably, I can just answer questions for them and that'll help, right? So this is, you really want to watch out for scams, because this is something that can easily become a scam with, right? So with that being said, I have deemed this not a scam after playing around with it for a bit. Cool. All right, so now here's the question that people generally have. Oh, am I going to be keeping this long time? Are we gonna be using this for a long time? Are they going to be loving us for a long time? I don't know. So in that particular case, here's what I got to say about that. I mean, you got the reactions from the guys here. The memes are pretty good. It's a lot of fun. People will definitely be using it, especially as we get more into a bowl where there's money to spend, right? I personally, not financial advice, anything that I'm saying, but I do want to put my opinions out here of what it is that I'm looking at, playing around with this stuff. I personally think that the 9-inch token is a good one to actually keep around until the top of the bowl. I think it's going to do quite well. Now, let's go ahead and look at the reward coin, which is the BBC, right? So the BBC, I have no idea what that stands for.
If I'm not mistaken, it is the big bonus coin. Am I correct?
Oh, is that what it is?
That's
okay,
the one.
My bad. I think I saw something else.
I don't know how anyone could misinterpret that.
And then, just as a heads up, what time frame are we looking at here? How big are those candles?
All right, so this is on the 1 hour chart because I'm a degenerate. If we actually go to the date chart, it's literally like, what is this, 4 days now? Like, and we're starting the brand new day, right? So, aside from controversies, let's go ahead and just look at this, right? So we had an up and then we had a down. This is very normal. Shockwell. This is very normal for any new coin coming out, right? Now, what you don't really want to look at this off the bat, because what's going to end up happening, and are you guys Googling these things? Oh no.
Uh-oh. Casey's like, these motherfuckers.
Oh,
he had
no.
to mute himself.
Casey's like, what did you make me do? Is this a joke? Is this a troll?
It is 100% the best.
Oh, this is great.
This is
I love
the quality
this.
that you guys sign up for when you come and watch us. Just so you know.
Well, with that being,
stuff, Casey,
like, you can actually make money off this, though. What you want to do is you want to hit this point where it starts kind of evening out, right? All right, so here, safety search.
Yes, turn the safe search on.
Yeah.
So with that being said, here's some of the strategies that I've been kind of looking into. So what I originally was doing was I simply put in, I simply inserted my 9-inch that is pulsating, and now I'm getting a big BBC out, right? And I just kept selling that back in for a pulse. Well, then talking with Tracker, he started talking about how, like, well, you do know that the BBC LPs are going to be coming out Monday, right? I'm like, oh, okay. And so I started thinking about it, and this is how this is going to work, right? So because the BBC coin LPs are going to be coming out Monday, that number is just going to go up because people are going to be buying in. Possibly.
We don't know what it's going to do.
We don't know. More than likely, though. Like, we're playing the likeliness game here, right? Guesstimation.
Historically speaking, BBC goes up.
Historically speaking, BBC goes up. That is correct.
I'm not that sorry. That was a lie.
I'm just here for the ride, boys.
Sometimes.
So is she.
Man. Oh, Jesus.
I mean, you got to have fun with this, right? We're in crypto. Damn it.
Let's get through this. Let's get through this, Nate.
For sure. I'm trying to, but you're interrupting me, man. No, I'm joking. Okay, so because the BBC LPs are going to be coming out tomorrow, actually, what's going to end up happening is that more than likely is that they're going to go up because people are going to buy into BBC, like actually market buy it now and try and get into those pools. The pools are going to have higher APRs than you're even seeing here, more than likely. And so here's the plan, right? I was only going to be into these ones for about a week or two. I think that's probably a good place, but I've changed my mind. I think I'm going to be in them until the APRs get below 100. I'm just going to sit in them and gather as much as I can. With that being said, the BBC coin, I see that as an incentive coin, right? I do not see that actually going to the moon and staying there. I believe that people will buy in very quickly. They'll get into the LPs. They're going to have huge APR yields. So then you pull those yields out and then you transfer them into the coin of your choice. And my particular choice is going to be Pulse, right? Maybe a little bit of Hex too. And then when you start seeing the liquidity dropping in those pools and they start dropping really rapidly and the APRs are going to go back up, right? Rather than going back down, or even if the APRs just get really low as well, I'm just pulling it. I'm pulling it. I'm going to sell it off and I'll be happy enough with whatever my 9-inch is doing inside of my Pulse farm here. And yeah, there you go. And I will have made quite a bit of money. And here's the thing. So as the coin of BBC goes up, it's going to start dropping after a while. So what you need to decide, okay, is with the price going down and the APR is being so high, when do you hit that point where it's like, okay, it's not worth it anymore? Now that's going to be up to the individual to do your own research, obviously. When do you feel like you need to get out? For me personally, guaranteed the first 3 days is when I'm going to be in. I'm going to reevaluate right around that time, very quick, closely look at it, and then I'll think maybe to that week. And then if it's still good after that week, maybe I'll go up to 2 weeks. But after that, I'm out.
All right.
Fair enough. All right, gentlemen. Any last thoughts on 9-inch?
It's so the basic the elevator pitch is it's a meme coin decentralized exchange on Pulse Chain
that yields and prints you money if you do it properly.
All right. Alrighty, fair enough. I'm going to cover my quick GameFi topic, and then we're going to get right to Jeopardy in a hot minute.
Hell yeah.
So for people that are fans of Dr. Disrespect, popular streamer and a little bit of a YouTuber, but primarily just a pro gamer, his project is called Dead Drop. He's been working to develop a vertical extraction shooter similar to Escape from Tarkov, or if you're a Call of Duty fan, the DMZ mode that they made. They previously have been in a bit of like a closed alpha. There, unless you're one of the 10,000 people that had your hands on one of the NFTs available, also called a variant. Well, good news is they just had a big event recently, live stream you can go rewatch, but they also are in what's called Snapshot 7. So Snapshot 7 is the first snapshot or like kind of time frame for their alpha that is actually open and available to the public. So if you want, you can go buy an early access key and start playing it right now. I actually did that myself. It's been a good game so far. It's definitely in early stages. The graphics are not going to be top notch or anything, but the gameplay is there. There's a good variety of weapons that feel good. And they're also working to integrate the community as much as possible. They have creator modes, which are available, and you can also create your own modes later on. Notably, this is a blockchain game or an NFT game, so to speak. However, that's not the primary focus of it. There are items that will be tokenized and basically NFTs that are available for trade. What that is in the final form, not sure yet. However, you can get your hands on it, you can get playing, and so far, it's a pretty good time. That's what I got to say. Gentlemen, any thoughts? Do you know about the game?
9.
All right.
I don't know much about it, but I do like the expansion that is happening in the GameFi space with cryptocurrency. There's tons of games already out there that essentially have the same thing as cryptocurrency, like on there. Any game that has microtransactions essentially runs a cryptocurrency. It's just on a centralized blockchain. They have their own little private ledger system, their own little private Excel document. The only thing they have left to do to change it into actual crypto is to make it public and to like assign people wallets and things of that nature. So it's like GameFi is they're so fucking close. Or not GameFi, excuse me. Traditional gaming is so fucking close to being in like the cryptocurrency sphere. You know, like on Fortnite, you got your Fortnite bucks. On World of Tanks, you got your gold. On World of Warcraft, you have oh man, I don't know or remember. On Minecraft, you have your little Minecraft coins. Like there's all these games that already have. On Sea of Thieves, you have your doubloons, right? There's all these little games that have like what essentially amounts to a cryptocurrency already, and we are just so fucking close. And it's just like these NFTs, like these special guns or these things. You were saying it's similar to Escape from Tarkov. Did I understand correctly that like some of these items in Dead Drop, do they disappear or like from your body when you die, or do they get stolen away or something like that if someone kills you and like loot your body?
So the basic idea with the extraction shooter is that you can go in with no gear. There's gear all over the place. You can go pick it up. But what you get out with, you kind of keep. However, those are in-game like playable items that you work with. My understanding is that their goal for this game is that all of the NFT items are going to be more cosmetic things, so that if you buy like per se, like right now they have what are effectively loot boxes that give you potential cosmetic items. Those are the things that are going to be the NFT items that you can trade with each other. So in my personal opinion, this is where GameFi is moving in the correct direction, which is that the game is a game at its core, and Dr. Disrespect is actually one that's been huge on this, which is that the gameplay needs to be fun first and foremost, and the focus. You can have blockchain and crypto and NFT elements to help support it and help kind of give players a little bit of autonomy over what they put in and get out and what they want to do with it. But at the core, the gameplay is the focus, and I think it really shows through. The gunfighting feels good. A lot of the movement feels very good as well. And so far, it has not been very buggy at all for me. So I've been having a good time. Alrighty, with that said, we're going to close it out there and move on to what everyone has been waiting for. Can I get a screen share, please? Welcome to Jeopardy Crypto Edition. I am going to be your host for this section, and we're going to be pitting Mr. Nate McGettit against Will Stevenson. Notably, the rules of engagement for this are going to be slightly different than your normal Jeopardy stuff. We're here to have a good time, so I don't care if you give me an answer in the form of a question or just an answer. It doesn't bother me. And then additionally, I will admit I did have some technical problems. So the way this is going to work is one of these fine gentlemen is going to pick one of the categories. We're going to go top to bottom on it. I'm going to be keeping tally of their points on an Excel spreadsheet over here. We'll cover it at the end of each one. And then we're going to be alternating questions of who gets to answer first. Notably, there will be no negative points because that makes my math difficult. There will only be positive. And count yourself lucky. And at the end of it, we will be doing a final Jeopardy. I highly encourage everyone to play along and keep track of your own score at the end. And you can let us know how you did versus these fine gentlemen. So, lads, do we have any questions before we get into it?
Yeah, how do you play the game?
I'm going to ask a question
or
give you a prompt. You got to give me the answer. Should be simple enough.
I'm ready.
All right. Let's do it. All right, gentlemen. Tell you what, Nate, I have a number that I'm holding behind my back. Is it a 1 or a 2?
It is definitely a 1.
It is actually a 1. All right, you get to pick first. Which first, allow me to introduce our categories for the evening. First off, we have technical analysis, crypto history, who's that token, crypto celebrities, and friends of the channel. Basically, any special guest we've had on. I've devised some questions around them and what they do.
Oh shit, dude, this is awesome.
Tell you what, let's actually save friends of the channel for last. I think it'll be a good one to close with. So,
okay.
Nate, which category would you like?
Crypto celebrities for 100.
All right, crypto celebrities it is. Nate, you get the first answer as well. Oh,
as the host, you're supposed to read it for me.
All right. This former MIT professor used to advocate for crypto before his most recent job in the government. Nate, do you have an answer for us?
What is Gary Gensler, the semen demon?
That is correct. Gary Gensler. Notably, Gary Gensler did work at MIT before this, where he actually kind of shilled a coin called Algorand. However, he recently has transitioned to the SEC, where he said that people that shill coins or unregistered securities could possibly deserve jail time. So do with that information what you will.
Dude, Algorand, holy fuck. I remember I got bad memories about Algorand, dude. I bought that shit at the top. I was exit liquidity real hard. Oof. Back when I was a young lad.
All right, Will, we're going to you on this next one. Crypto celebrities for $200.
Is that
Who is
okay?
who is this?
That's Vitalik Buterin, the Russian inventor of Ethereum.
That it is. Well done, good sir.
That was an easy one. Hell yeah.
Oh, it's only the 200-point question.
Okay. Wait, so do we like automatically go up and down through these categories?
We're going to go
It's like
top to bottom on each of the categories. Notice how it's not ticking off which ones have been picked. So I'm the one that has to keep track of this myself.
Okay.
But we'll make it work. All right, Nate, coming to you. We have crypto celebrities for 300 coming at you. The anonymous creator of BTC or Bitcoin, whose true identity is still a mystery.
A lot of theories of who that could be, but I know his handle is at least Satoshi.
Do you know the second half of that handle?
Niyamako Satoshi?
Satoshi something else.
You're close.
Satoshi Niyamako? Niyamake.
You are so close.
You're very close, my friend.
Nakamoto?
Yeah.
It is Satoshi Nakamoto.
Yeah.
Correct.
And
well done, sir. We're 3 for 3 so far. I hope these questions get a little bit harder. All right, Will, coming to you for crypto celebrities 400.
Crypto celebrities 400.
Where did Sam Bankman-Fried have the Orchid compound where he lived with his girlfriend at the time and numerous FTX employees? Where was it located?
What is the Bahamas?
That is correct, good sir. That is the Bahamas, where they did all sorts of weird, strange, odd things there on top of attempt to run multiple companies at the same time.
Hell yeah.
All right, you guys are killing this. Shoot, I should have made this harder.
Right.
All right, we're going to go back to Nate for $500 for crypto celebrities. What was the very first business that Richard Hart, the notable creator of Hex and Pulse Chain, what was his first business that he created and operated?
I do not know. It was real estate, wasn't it? But the name of it, I do not know.
You don't need the name. I just need what it was and what it was doing. And I'll give you a hint. It was not real estate. I'll give you one more guess before we go to Will.
I have no idea. That's beyond me.
Will, any idea? He's talked about this on a Fresh and Fit stream before.
I know a lot about Richard Hart. He used to sell radios. That was his first business, car stereos.
That is correct. He operated a car stereo business in Florida.
Wow. I did not know that about him.
There we go. Heck yeah, Will. Alrighty. Nate, you got to pick the first category. So, Will, we're going to go to you for the next one.
I would like to pick technical analysis for 500.
Well, we're gonna go top to bottom. We'll get to 500 eventually.
Okay, I'm gonna pick technical analysis then.
All right, technical analysis it is.
This is
real quick before we go to it. Let's give the chat a quick view. We do have Dre. We got a bunch of people going in on Gary Gensler, the semen demon or the guzzler himself.
He did guzzle a lot of semen. Gary Gensler actually has an OnlyFans. For those of you who have not looked it up, I would not recommend it. You will see the consumption of a lot of semen on Gary Gensler's
We'll leave that to Casey for his when he leaves the safe search off. And then notably, a big shout out to No Money Mike getting the $500 question correct there. He did have the stereo business of the Richard Hart's first business.
Yep.
All right, on to the technical analysis.
Also, big shout out to Sami for giving us the idea with Gary Gensler.
Alrighty, Will, this first question is coming to you. This is the large timescale theory that describes Bitcoin's price movement through repeated bear and bull markets.
Oh, fuck. Large timescale.
This is the $100 question.
If it's
Don't
large,
overthink it.
Is it? I don't know if this is the halvening question or if this is a 60-day cycle question. So I'm gonna go with halvening because that's what I think.
How about this? How often does the halvening happen?
Oh, the 4-year cycle. Okay.
That would be the Bitcoin 4-year cycle. Well done. There we go.
Yeah, I don't know if we were looking at like the whatever the hell dude waves thing, but I hope that's not an answer to another question. Google has
Will, you and I are going to get wrecked in this one.
All right, next one.
That's why I chose it, bro.
$200 coming to Nate. What does the blue dotted line on this chart represent? That would be the one that is up here.
Resistance. That's a resistance line.
That is correct. That is a resistance line. Well done.
What's the resistance line?
Damn, you had taught us that earlier on in the stream. Hell yeah.
There you go.
Good
All
shit.
right, Will, coming to you. $300 question. The chart pattern where price moves between two converging lines downwards is called what? What's the name of this pattern? Or this shape that you can see on a chart?
Pennant?
Not a pennant.
A downward sloping triangle?
You know what?
Downward something?
I don't. Yeah. That is a descending triangle.
Oh, really? Holy shit. Dude,
There you
I
go.
was just kind of guessing there.
Aside from the ascending triangle, right?
There you go. That is also the other option that you have. So notably, this is a bit of a bearish indicator. What you have is a downwards trend line accompanied with a support level. And when you get to that breaking point, a lot of times it tends to break downwards.
This is very useful. I'm actually like learning some shit. This is good.
There you
This
go.
is good.
More stuff to look up. All right. I got to make sure I mark you down for 300. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. All right. $400 question coming to Nate. This indicator is a trend following momentum indicator that shows the relationship between two exponential moving averages of an asset's price. The indicator's line is calculated by subtracting the 26-day period exponential moving average from the 12-period exponential moving average.
Is that the SMA trend line?
It is not the SMA. Do you have another one?
Bollinger Bands.
It is not that either. Will, do you have any idea?
I'm gonna say
It has an acronym. I'll say that much. It has a 4-letter acronym that stands for something else.
the 14 EMA, because that's what 26 minus 12 is.
That is the math behind it, but
I know it. I know it.
you know it, Nate. What is it?
RSI.
It is not RSI.
it's not.
4-letter acronym.
Oh man, dude, I don't know.
Are we ready for the answer? I'll tell you what. Do we have anybody in the
Anyone in
chat?
the audience? Oh yeah,
Chat, we need your help.
Chat,
Help these guys
just
out.
phone a friend.
Keep in mind, this is a trend following momentum indicator. So this talks
gotta-
about momentum and when it switches.
I feel like I know what this is.
If not, you can also tell me if I'm just out of my gourd and no one knows this.
Where's Niles? Can we get Niles in here?
Yeah, I need a.
Where's
phone a-
Niles when you need
Yeah,
him?
I don't know.
All right. Anyways,
What's the answer?
the answer is the MACD. This is the moving average
MACD.
convergence and divergence. Notably, this talks about when your moving averages actually cross in different directions. So when you have different time frames, what happens is once the shorter time frame starts to cross up, there you go. No Money Mike has it. The MACD, maybe a little bit late, but whatever.
Damn. Well, we got a 7-second delay at the very least. I know from what we say to what plays live.
Fair enough. All right.
Oh man.
I believe I offered that one to Nate first. So Will, $500 question is coming your way.
Oh shit.
Good luck, Will.
According to Elliott wave theory, in a trending 5-wave pattern, which wave is the longest and most aggressive?
Wave 3.
That is actually correct.
Oh shit,
I was
dude!
gonna say I got this one if you don't, Will.
I heard this somewhere. Did you say this earlier in the stream?
I said this
Yes,
earlier in the
yes, you
stream.
did.
Okay. Yes. Peanut brain for the win, baby.
There you go, brother. This
All
is
right.
notably one of the one of kind of the rules of Elliott wave theory is that the third wave in a trending 5-wave sequence is the most aggressive, and notably, basically, wave 1 goes up to a certain point, and then the bottom of the next wave after wave 3, wave 4 cannot intersect with wave 1. So wave 3 has to separate your top wave and your bottom wave by a good amount. So that is part of the reason why it is one of the longer ones. You can go see this in some of the charts. This is really when you can catch these trends. Remember that Elliott wave theory is a trending tool. It really works well in trending markets. So after the third wave, when you have that nice sharp one, you can usually kind of get a little bit of a ride on the fifth wave, but you got to keep in mind that most of the gains have already been had. So that's where it's at.
I gotta say, dude, like gamified learning is one of the best ways to learn things. So like, dude, this is a fantastic idea, Zenith. Shout out to you. Hey, so quick shout out to Zenith.
We're just having a good time.
Plan, man. This is
like
awesome.
This is not what we normally do on the stream. We try to be a little more informative. However, at the same time, like I had a good time in school whenever we did stuff like this. So
yeah, this is a lot
Brother
of
64. Yeah, shout out. This is good idea for
Hell
a new
yeah.
segment. Hell yeah, Brother 64. Sam and Greg in the house, or at least Sam.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
All right, so we have covered technical analysis and crypto celebrities. Nate, you got 2 categories to pick from: crypto history or who's that token.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's go with the token.
All right, who's that token for $100? Nate, this one's coming to you first.
Okie dokies.
This blockchain is the one that revolutionized crypto by utilizing smart contracts.
Ethereum.
That is correct. $100.
Oh wow, I didn't think I was gonna get that right.
Really?
But dude, yeah, Ethereum.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I was trying to add in a little bit of.
You're slow playing us. Boo.
Oh no, I wasn't doing that. Not at all.
Don't worry. Moonpill, the rational optics. We will cover history very shortly. He's in here too. Alrighty, Will. $200 question coming your way. This is a tokenized smart contract that allows individuals to pool Hex together in order to create one massive 555-day Hex stake. That token is now tradable. What is the name of this token?
What is Maxi?
That is correct. This is the Maximus token. Excellent.
Woo!
For those that don't know, this is a way.
Ones.
Yeah.
There you go. I mean, we're Hexicans and Polskins. It's what we do around here.
We're doing.
Yeah, so the Maximus team actually has created a series of tokens based around different time increments. You've probably heard me talk about it before, and I've definitely gone on rants about it. So glad to see it's sticking in somebody's brain, voluntarily or involuntarily.
Dexy, Lucky, Trio, Base. And
Yep,
Base
there you go.
just finished doing their thing.
Yep, Base did actually go through its restaking period. So it looks like the smart contract is fully operational.
Hell yeah.
Alrighty, Nate, coming to you for $200 or $300 question. This is one of the first open source DeFi lending and liquidity protocols that was popularized on the Avalanche blockchain.
Oh, it's not.
So this is a protocol.
Yeah, that's Aave, correct?
That is Aave, correct?
Yeah, it
there
is
you
Aave.
go.
They had one other one I was thinking of that was like, wait a minute, is it that one first? No, it was Aave first.
Correct. Aave is one of those protocols that is actually widely used on a lot of stuff. If I'm not mistaken, the Aave protocol was actually forked for the Fiat and was it Fiat, Fame, and Fox? That trio of projects?
Yep.
It was forked for it. Correct.
Yep, there you go. It's open source code, so anyone can see it and anyone can use it. Ready, we got I wrote down your points.
I'm glad you got that one because I would not have. I would not have got that.
See, this is why I'm like, wow, you keep getting those like RH ones.
Yes.
All right, $400 question coming to Will.
All right.
This Ethereum Layer 2 token has become the focus of Disney for their own Web3 projects in July of 2022.
What is Matic Polygon?
That is correct.
Holy shit!
I am so fucking proud of you. Yes,
dude.
That's not well known. That is not well known.
Well done, Will.
Dude,
they got their
NFT
NFTs going
either. I literally only guessed Polygon because like that's the only thing I know that's like an L2 that is like popular in big businesses.
Dude, you nailed the name and the ticker.
Hell yeah. Good shit.
Good job.
Owned by 18 dudes in India.
Here you go.
Allegedly.
According to Sami.
Yeah.
All right, Nate, we have the $500 question coming to you. Dogecoin is the largest meme coin by market cap. But what is the second?
By market cap.
Meme coins
Really?
specifically.
Oh,
Sheep.
shit.
You are correct. It is the Shiba Inu SHIB. Sorry, I jacked that one up. That is entirely correct, though. Good job, sir. It is
bet
not
I know
Phantom.
the answer for number 500. Let me get the question though, because I want to know what the question is. That is the
question
answer.
is, what is the second largest meme coin? Dogecoin is the first. What is the second?
By market cap.
By market cap. That is SHIB.
No. But you just, what was
He
Phantom
fucked
the
up.
answer to?
Oh,
Yeah.
that was me fat fingering answers when I was putting it in. Phantom
what
is
was-
not an answer for something else, but I was trying to come up with a question for Phantom.
Oh.
My goal, I couldn't find the exact numbers on it, but my goal was like, this is the blockchain that has evolved the Ethereum virtual machine by reducing blockchain information storage by like 8 times or something.
Phantom.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Cool shit.
Or Solana.
Solana.
Alrighty,
Solana.
Nate, we have crypto history Will coming to Will first for crypto history for $100.
Let's do it.
All right, Will, what is the all-time high price of Bitcoin? You got to get within $1,000 either direction.
67,000.
Oh, that is just outside of the band. Nate, do you
Didn't
know
it?
it?
Yep, I do know it. 69,000.
It
Really?
is
69,400, if I remember correctly. Like
Holy
specifically.
shit.
the answer that I got from this was 68,789. But yeah, 69.
That's a little bit.
Damn.
It might be a little bit
Damn.
low. 69
Good
is kind
shit,
of the
bro.
colloquial known. Yeah, good stuff.
You have to say 69 though, because that is the best number in the world.
People are going to remember that one.
A valuable number for some reason.
Probably
find it
maybe it
over
has
on
something to do with the
9-inch.
9-inch
Probably.
in the
All right,
BBC.
Nate, you got a $200 question. On September 15th, 2022, Ethereum updated to change the way it validates blocks to this kind of validation method.
Yeah. So proof of work to proof of stake.
That is correct. They changed from proof of work to proof of stake. Very nice. All right, $200 for Mr. Nate.
Very nice.
Okay, on to the next question. Will, $300 question for you. On May 22nd, 2010, a man purchased 2 of this item for the price of $10,000 Bitcoin.
You know, I've never been fond of people calling pizzas as a pie. Like, I don't think that a pizza should be called a pie. I think that's absolutely ridiculous, but that's just me. But this dude, this gentleman bought 2 pizzas for 10 grand Bitcoin.
Correct.
That he regrets that every day, or he doesn't know.
One of the first official Bitcoin purchases for a real item was some guy in New York that wanted 2 pizzas, and he found someone that would do the trade.
It's got to be New York. Here's the thing about that. Think about this. This may have been a tragedy for him, but think about it. He goes down in history. Like, he will always be remembered as one of those guys who made one of the first purchases ever with Bitcoin, and how terrible of a thing it was.
He is the pizza man.
He is the pizza man. Pizza time.
There you go. All right, Nate, $400 question for you.
Oh.
Richard Hart released the Pulse Chain mainnet in this month and year. You got to get them both. When did mainnet for Pulse Chain come out?
Wow. That was April 2022. Sorry, 2023. Silly me.
Is actually not April. Will, do you know what it is?
Remember that shit.
It was May.
It was May 2023.
I only said that because May comes after April, and I thought it was April too. And then Nate got it wrong, and so I was like, okay, was it March? It's got to be May.
That's rough. I believe the official date was May 13th.
May 13th. May
Put it in the chat. Can
force be with you. On the
tell
13th.
me if I got that wrong or right.
Notice how I just get the Richard Hart ecosystem ones wrong.
That's okay, man. That's okay.
Are you even a Hexican?
Bro, maybe
No, I'm not. I am with you guys, but I am not one of you.
There you go. Bro,
Colloquially with you.
Will, we have the $500 question coming to you. This cute 2017 GameFi hit was the first ERC 721 token that standardized how to build NFTs on Ethereum.
Oh, wow.
Famously, this is also allegedly part of the reason that gas prices got so outrageous during this time.
What is Pudgy Penguins?
Pudgy Penguins.
No kidding.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? There's no way I got that right. I have no.
I'll give you guys a hint though. It is animal
Nate,
related.
you know it?
It is animal related. I know.
What is it?
I'm trying to remember the exact name of their project, but I know it was something kittens. Something kitties.
Just take a guess. What do people typically name their projects?
Cutie kitties. Cutie kittens. What? Cutie kittens.
Another word that starts with C.
Oh my god. I know them, but it had to do with cats, like the little kitties.
You are correct. It is cat related.
I can't remember the exact name of them though.
Man, I should just learn to type real fast. I'll just type these questions into Google.
Well, if that's the case, then we got to move on.
No, I'm not doing that. Shit.
Come on, just try again. You basically have said it.
Crazy cats.
You're gonna feel a little dumb when I reveal the answer.
C? You said it starts with C, right?
Yes.
Oh, cutie. Yeah. So.
No, not cutie.
Kittens.
Oh, cuddly kittens then.
Cuddly kittens.
Crypto kitties.
Crypto.
Really?
Crypto kitties.
Man, I don't know.
One of the first
damn cats.
This is one of the first GameFi projects that used NFTs.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Crypto kitties, huh?
See, for me, in history, I've always kind of like poo-pooed that, and I was like, of course they'd make fucking cats one of the most popular ones off the bat. And then I just thought of it as like, so whatever, fuck kitties.
The evolution of GameFi is a real thing. You got to start somewhere. We started with cat NFTs, and then we've started moving on to other stuff. There you go. Cat's Kitchen had a very close answer with kitten mittens. Because sometimes, your cat is just too loud.
You know what, Cassie? I didn't see you guessing this in the chat, so I don't want to hear about it.
I thought I was trying to be obvious with the hints.
Dude, I had no clue,
like
man.
Crypto. We call everything crypto something. It's Crypto X.
Bro, you're talking to the
right.
blue collar workers on the show.
That is
not
true.
the most creative crowd in the world, but we're consistent. I'll say that much.
That's true.
All right. Shout out to Niles. Niles has made an appearance in the chat.
Oh, hell yeah, Niles.
Penguins, but not quite.
I think he's
Niles, where were you for our technical analysis shit? Get the fuck in here.
Nah, he wasn't convincing, so it's probably good.
I wonder if Niles made it for the TA category. Hopefully I got that right. He'll be the guy to let me know if I got it wrong. But yeah.
Oh man.
It's always sunny is a good reference there.
I wouldn't know. Okay. What are friends of the channel?
We have friends of the channel. This is our final category before we go to our final Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Alrighty, we're going to be going to Nate first for $100. RG3, aka the Captain. It does kind of look like a pirate. I wonder why. Anyways, this man starred in what crowdfunded documentary about Hex? What's the name of it?
The Highest of Stakes.
That is correct. That is the highest of stakes.
I got a Hexagon one right. Yay!
There you go. You're back in the good graces. Made by Hexagons for Hexagons.
I saw a bunch of cows wandering around in a marijuana field earlier, and I thought to myself that the stakes have never been higher.
Go. Enjoy that, ladies and gentlemen. Will. All right, Will, coming to you. A wild SJ is part of the Pulse Chain Tour. She's driving the Pulse bus to each event. Where's the next event taking place on November 4th?
Phoenix, Arizona. That's where it is, because it's not Austin, because it was already in Austin. It's in Phoenix, Arizona.
That is incorrect.
Oh.
Nate, do you know where the...
Damn it.
I might be wrong on this one. But
Houston, Texas.
It is Austin, Texas.
Oh, it is Austin? Motherfucker.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Big shout out to a wild SJ for being our most recent guest. She had an excellent Halloween costume. She is unfortunately the only one because I guess the rest of us are just boring.
Well, it's not Halloween yet. Halloween is on the 31st.
Alrighty. we are on to the $300 question. Coming to Nate first. Miguel, aka Dollar Cost Crypto, had a nickname before his nickname of Hex Jesus, and it was associated with Litecoin. What was it?
Litecoin Moses, my man.
That is correct. It was Litecoin Moses. Miguel, notably, is one of the guys from the Crypto Mindset course, along with Charlie of Cultivate Crypto. We like those guys very much, and we're all kind of offsprings of them. So we are the reason they're here.
Also, Doge. What was it? Dogecoin Muhammad.
Dogecoin
It might have been
Muhammad.
yeah.
Yep.
He's also got
be,
that.
He's got to be careful with the Islamic community. They'll come after him for that one.
Well, so are the Christians. Tell me why I know.
Alrighty, we updated scores.
Ooh, I got 400.
That's right. Well, you get the $400 question.
All right.
Rags to Riches is part of a team that launched this coin. It is one of the first crypto endowments that utilizes the Hex protocol as a framework.
Is it the Texan coin?
It is the Texan coin, correct?
Okay.
Oh, man.
I missed that stream. I was so bummed out when I had to miss that stream for whatever. I think I was up on the tower at the time. But yeah. Texan coin.
Obviously, these are all friends of the channel, but I like Rags. He's not afraid to get very technical with things. When the Richard Hart SEC accusations came out, he literally opened up the document on a stream and just for like 2 hours, just read it line by line. Just like, all right, here's what's in it.
See, what I love about him is he will go in depth on questions that people usually don't want to ask, whether they're crypto related or not. You know,
Well,
he's got a very good brain.
Absolutely. Ready. Points are in for Will. So that means we are coming to Nate for our $500 question.
Boy, I'm sweating over here.
Walrus is the head of growth and partnership for Liquid Loans. What are the 3 tokens that are utilized in the Liquid Loans system?
Oh boy, I better not get this wrong. USDL, or United States Dollar Liquid.
Right? That is one of them, correct?
Liquid, right?
Yep.
Loan token itself, and then the Pulse token.
Boom! Nailed it. Well done.
Oh.
Fantastic.
What's the loan token again? Is that the incentive one?
That's the incentive token, yes.
Okay.
However, unlike some other ones, other incentive tokens, loan, you can actually stake to gain more pulse. And so you actually get a reward for keeping the loan token. Not only that, but they're also creating the loan token to be able to be deflationary. Like another token we happen to know, I don't know, it's something like with an X in it. I have no idea what it is, but yes, they're creating to be just like that. So when you go ahead and just stake that, gain more pulse off of it, and meanwhile, it just goes up in price because it's always getting burnt.
There you go. Very nice. Well done, gentlemen.
I hope I did Walrus proud there.
Did well,
Sure
bro.
did.
I don't know if I could have got that one if I'd have been given that question.
It really did. Like this is the same thing as like when I got the RH. What was his first job? I'm like, oh, this is something that I'm not gonna know. But yeah, that's kind of a layup for you there, Will, to just kind of run in on that one.
Hell yeah, man. Yo, and big shout out to Liquid Loans for the work that they're doing. They came up with a bug, or there was a bug just uncovered at the last minute, and they are working hard to get that shit going. But we are excited when they got that shit going on.
They're making sure they get their shit together, and it's really good. I am so bullish on them.
Oh man, it's gonna be great,
Definitely.
dude.
All right, gentlemen, this brings us to our final Jeopardy. Real quick. Currently, we have Will ahead at $3,700 and Nate at $2,200. So, gentlemen, feel free to wager.
Oh shit!
However much. Do you have any paper in front of you by any chance?
I'm gonna go all in, baby. I'm gonna wager all 3,700.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
All right,
all or
cool.
nothing.
All right, for anybody else in the chat that's watching, if you have been keeping track of your score, go ahead and put it in the chat now. I'm gonna ask the final question. It's not too crazy. But before, I guess I'm technically supposed to show you this before we wager.
It's too late.
Oh, come on. But the final topic is Bitcoin related.
Oh, fuck.
So if you've been keeping track of your score, go ahead and put in the chat right now how much you want to wager.
I'm putting it all on, baby.
We got both these DGens doing what DGens do. Very proud of
That's
them.
right. I'm backing up the truck right now.
Back the truck up. I'm right there with you, bro. Hey, here's a fucking cheer. There's my camera.
Hey, cheers. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right. I was gonna say, if you gentlemen have paper or something to write down your answer so we can reveal it at the same time, that would be perfect. Otherwise, just flip a coin or something.
I'll type it on my phone.
All right, that works too.
Okay.
All right, gentlemen. Final question. Here we go. What is the max possible supply of Bitcoin? You got to get within 1 million.
Oh,
shit. I haven't heard that number.
I gotta find a place to write this at that doesn't dox anything. Da, 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 da. Damn it. Oh, I got a notes thing. All right.
I'm kind of throwing a Hail Mary at this one. I've heard the number a lot, but never really thought about it. Or not thought about it, but put it to memory.
All right. Give me a thumbs
a
up when both
stylus.
of you guys have your final answer ready to go.
Oops. Wow. Look at me be dumb. I got to rewrite mine because I missed a 0 on it. Oops.
All right, I am ready.
Let's see.
All right,
where's
Will
that?
is ready.
That's gonna
And
be
if you're
All right,
watching
I'm
my keystrokes on my pen, you're a cheater.
That would take some skill.
That's how you do it. Anyways.
You ready? Nate, what is your answer? 3,460,000,000. Will, 21 million. All right, gentlemen, you have different answers, which means this will be for the win. The correct answer is 21 million Bitcoins. Well done, Will.
Okay.
Hey.
Will has smoked it for a
Fail.
final score of $7,400. And unfortunately, Nate bet the house and lost it. So
Oh no,
Oh,
7,400.
apologies to
zero.
I'm
Mrs.
all
McGee
out.
on
All right.
that one.
So this is paid out. We're paying this out in eggs, as I recall. We all agreed beforehand. So Nate, you owe me 7,400 eggs.
All right, well, I'll get my chickens dumping their eggs real quick.
There you
It
go.
might come with you. It might come to you in the next couple of years.
There we go, bro. There we go.
All right.
This is pretty
That is
fun. I like this.
time. You guys killed that one. You guys
Dude,
get
that was
so
awesome.
There's like only one or two that neither of you could pick up, so that was fantastic.
Hell yeah. Fuck yeah, bro. That was good shit. I enjoyed that. What was your favorite question, Zenith? When you were making this, what was your favorite part of the process?
I enjoyed going through all of the friends of the channel one.
Yeah.
Just I was thinking about all the past streams that we've done with them and then like what their notable things are. So it was fun to do that one. And then the technical analysis was an interesting one for me.
Uh-huh. I've got it. Nate, why don't you come up with a question for Zenith real quick? I'm gonna ask Zenith a question.
You guys
Yeah,
want
you
to try to
Yeah.
help me
All
go
right.
for it?
Meanwhile,
we do have a comment from Niles that is directed towards Nate. If we can pull that one up.
I hear a lot of numbers rolling around. I don't exactly remember them all. That's basically
That's fair.
that's the long and short of it for Niles. Whenever anybody, because I watch a lot of macro. Yeah, I watch a lot of macro throwing numbers around, and so when they're like, the total number of Bitcoin that's possible is blah 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 blah, I'm like, okay, yeah, so it's so what you're saying is ultimately, and this is the way my mind takes it, is so it's limited. Got it. Don't care, right? That's not the information I'm looking for. So for me, that number is always just kind of like shoot off. And the last thing I remember is somebody saying, "Oh, there's only like 3 billion Bitcoin at maximum, anyways." And that kind of stood out like, is that really it? Right? But yeah, that's the reason why I came up with that random ass fucking number.
One of the reasons that Bitcoin price has the ability to go so high is that relative to a lot of other projects, that is a very low number, which is kind of wild to think about. But 21 million is the cap. I want to say we're sitting somewhere around like 19 million right now.
we got chocolate taint. We got chocolate taint in the house.
Yeah, he's got a good question.
Time.
I will never forgive you for that, Niles.
Dude.
Hey, they won today, so I mean, come on now. They won the last 2 times against the 49ers.
I gotta say, dude, Zenith, I watched this on the replay when they brought those 2 dudes on, dude. That was fucking awesome, man.
Wait,
that
who
was
are the
so
dudes
cool.
though?
when they brought on Sloth and Walrus onto the stream
okay.
with
It was
Zenith,
just
dude, that
it was
so
a random
cool.
Wednesday stream we were having, and then
Literally random.
I think we were talking about projects we were excited about or something, and I was just like, just going on a tear like about how Liquid Loans is going to be fantastic, and the Waller stream is the best one we have. And then he's like, "Oh yeah, guess what? I have queued up in the chat, ready to hop on."
Dude,
where
I
he,
thought
like-
that shit was awesome. So it caught you off guard, but like the genuine I don't know, the authenticity of it all. It was
Eris,
pretty cool.
it felt weird. I was like, I was talking about someone, and then they're just like, "Oh yeah, I'm right here."
Bro, when
Actually,
you
I was
like,
saying good things.
you should be
so.
happy when people are talking, like, so if you were to walk into a room and people were saying nice things about you, you'd be like, "Oh dude, this is awesome." And then the people saying the nice things, they'd be like, "Oh, there's a dude I was talking nice things about, dude." It was I thought it was beautiful personally, and
I loved it. It was good. It was great.
Sorry.
It's just good TV.
oh yeah, it was good TV, and it's just I gotta go. I'll be right back, and then you had to go take a piss or whatever the hell it was going on. I thought that was like the coolest thing that could have possibly happened.
Yeah.
It was good stuff.
Yeah. Here's the thing that killed me about that
Oh,
too. As
no,
soon as
don't
that
do this
happened,
to me.
freaking Wallace just gets on, just like, "How's it going?"
Oh yes,
I believe
I'm just gonna-
his words were,
Like,
"Yes,
glory.
keep on poetically waxing about me." Yes.
It was too
Yeah.
cool, man. It was a good.
I will say the
fucking
reason
time.
when I got into this, one of the things that I never thought would have been possible is the level of access that the crypto community has in and of itself, which is that so many of the people that are doing and building big things like cough Liquid Loans, like those people are super available. You just got to message them. They're willing to hop on streams. That's just not something I'm used to. And I think it's phenomenal. So when I have someone who's creating a project like Liquid Loans, like Walrus, just show up, that's amazing. Because in my mind, I guess box myself a little bit here is I do project management in the real world. And
What?
I know. Creating large projects and running projects is massive. And then the idea of creating a financial product, which is just like the most out there intangible thing you can think of, it's so difficult. And there's just like a level of creativity that comes with it that really is very far and few between. Because financial products it's thinking about numbers and theoretically how you can move things around to work it that is cohesive in itself, but also has something that's actually worthwhile to people to get in. So I think it's fantastic work. I'm a big fan. I'll openly say it every time.
It's super
Please don't
cool,
ambush
man.
me again, but yeah.
Bro, no, so like we should always expect to be ambushed, because like at the end of the day, like even though these dudes are like they're project managers and they're building great things, like they're human beings that, you know, poop and bleed just like you and me, man. Like everyone is like, we're all just a bunch of meat sacks walking around on this little planet called Earth. And you know, some people make some really cool things, and they deserve their kudos and their praises and their
Absolutely.
laurels, right? But like, bro, you hit the nail on the head when you said like just the access to the folks in the ecosystem is crazy cool. Like I would never expect to be able to like hit up the manager of McDonald's, or not manager, but like the head of McDonald's or something, and be like, hey McDonald's guy, you want to come hop on our stream real quick and answer some questions? Like, nah, dude, he's not. Well, I mean, maybe I say that now. Maybe I should ask no, he's probably dead. Or he's close to being dead, or something like that,
He's
right? But
dead.
like, you know, just like people exist, but at the end of the day, like even celebrities, like they're regular people too. Well, they're not regular by the merit of them being celebrities, but you know, they share the same characteristics as us at the end of the day, and they're probably cool people. They probably have some flaws, or they probably have some like regular old stuff to do, and they're just down to hop on some streams, or maybe they're not, who knows. But dude, it was really cool to have fucking Walrus and Sloth and just like everyone like hopping on and chilling out and hanging out that one time. That was excellent. And then having
Here's the
like
thing.
Brother 64 and RG3 and Wild SJ and Rags and Miguel, just like all these fuck, I'm probably forgetting someone. Who the fuck am I forgetting? I'm sorry if I forgot you, whomever you might be. But like just having all these guests, all these people in the crypto community, whether it's like Hex centric or whether it's like, you know, the creators of whatever the hell project, just like all you guys out there doing great things, making the world a better place. Kudos to you. Shout out to all the creators out there that are putting forth products, building products and services that are going to make this ecosystem like sum total increase in value and bring in more users and pump my bags, most importantly.
Love it. And see, that's the thing too. If you're looking at, like, say, crypto celebrities, right? Or crypto founders and all those things that we usually don't get access to, you have to understand that the Hex Pulsexican whole community there, they are very, very readily available. If you have something to say and they you allow them to say what it is that they want to say, then yes, they're more than glad to come on and hang out and have a good time. There's, unfortunately, for a lot of other crypto communities, they really don't have that too much. Hence why, the RH ecosystem is one of them that I am probably the most bullish on, is because they do care, right? And as I've said I'm pretty sure every single freaking stream at this point, the thing that, Hexicans do different is they build their own stuff. If somebody says, no, you can't do that, and it's a really big institution like Coinbase, they're like, fine, we'll build our own Coinbase and screw you. That's what I like about them. And that's why they're my favorite ecosystem.
For sure. The crypto is still the Wild West of finance and honestly life. I think there was an analogy that I heard previously, is that there's always exploration to be done, and that's the driving force. Previously, it was Christopher Columbus exploring the New World. Then it was the Americans moving westwards. And then eventually it turned into all of North America was settled. So Americans started moving towards the economic front and trying to build businesses and whatnot. And then even you could see people right now like Elon Musk trying to create a vision towards moving towards outer space and exploring other areas. And even on the financial side, crypto is, in my opinion, that Wild West that still has so much to go. I know Gary Gensler wants to regulate it as much as he possibly can and take it under his control, but he's having a hard time, and it's showing. There's a lot of room and there's a lot of potential. And that's real quick. We do have a trivia question from Niles Jenkins. Pull that one up real quick. Yes, Moonpill Rational Optics. Excellent comment. We're going to get back to that after this to close out the stream. I promise.
I got this question from Niles if Nate doesn't have it.
Niles Jenkins asked the panel, for 0.001 ETH, when is the final Bitcoin predicted to be mined, plus minus 25 years?
Yeah, go ahead, take it, man.
It's 2135, baby.
2135. Whoa, Niles, can't we get a confirmation in the chat, my friend? Just throw it in
so
there.
We're gonna have to wait about 7 seconds because
we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
right.
We'll pull it up when we get it. But can we pull up Moonpill, the Rational Optics comment that we just had on the screen?
This here is going to be the alpha, guys. There's a lot of studying that has gone into this. So my question, Zenith, is what's your opinion on this question here?
What is the best way for one to make life-changing money?
Yes.
But I think I'm going to give an answer that is going to be slightly unpopular, but it's not a certain meme coin or anything. It's just discipline. It's being disciplined with all the stuff that we talked about in the book club most recently, which is save money that you specifically save for yourself to invest later, invest wisely and consistently, and build for the future. One of the things that I think our channel's done very well is we're not trying to, sorry, Will, I keep cutting you off. I know.
No, you're good.
We're trying to build a base that is solid in the basics. So that way, when we do want to talk about some more advanced ideas and topics that are built on top of a solid foundation, it can be taken advantage of well. And that's where having discipline and dedication and sticking to the plan, but making sure it's a good plan in the first place, it's built on good principles. I think that's how you make life-changing money. You're not going to see life-changing money, not even necessarily in 1 or 2 cycles, possibly, maybe 2, 3 is possibly where you're going to see it. But over a lifetime, just being consistent, sticking with what you know, and seeking managing the good principles, that's what's going to be life-changing money.
The little thing I have to tag on that, in addition to the discipline that you're talking about, which is like incredibly important, and like kind of the someone was saying persistence, I think, in that last book club that we were having, the discipline and the persistence, you know, to keep on keeping on. But the best way to make money is, and I'm gonna kind of rely on Richard Hart here a minute, is you find product market fit. The only thing in life that matters is goods and services, right? It doesn't matter how much money you have if you're on a desert island and your money can't buy you anything. The thing that does matter is the goods and the services, the coconuts and the back massages and the, whatever the fuck you want to quantify that as. So if you want to make life-changing money, you have to figure out how to solve bigger and bigger problems. So problem solving skills, being able to identify people's problems and having the skill set necessary to solve them is what's going to get you really big money, right? So like investing will get you places, sure, but like investing is basically like you tuck your money away to protect its value, right? But in the meantime, you still have to live, you still have to interact with people, you still have to do things in the real world. If you're not sitting there flipping burgers or throwing pebbles in the river or making coffees or being an accountant or consulting or driving a race car really fast, like if you're not providing some sort of value for the world, then what is the point of your existence? Right? You need to provide value in order to extract value. The ledger has to balance, right? In order for you to get money, something else has to like be created, or there has to be some sort of exchange there, right? So in the cryptocurrency sphere, we get money because of like the greater fool theory, where we're the early investors, we're taking on risk and we're buying into a thing that we think is going to make it, that's going to be popular later, right? That's the value add there. But in the real world, it's like, if I make a grilled cheese, then I sell the grilled cheese, then I have one grilled cheese worth of value, So the way that you make life-changing wealth is you figure out how to solve greater and greater problems on a scale, right? You figure out how to solve problems until you can solve all those problems and you reach the next like learning hurdle. Then you learn bigger things, you learn better things. It's kind of like the 10x rule that Grant Cardone talks about. It's like Alex Hormozy, like $100 million offer. Like you just need to learn how to solve bigger and bigger problems. Richard Hart doesn't make his money by investing in cryptocurrency. Richard Hart makes his money by providing a product that the world uses and that the world like Lamborghini doesn't make their money by the investments that they make in the S&P 500. Lamborghini makes their money by cranking out these high quality cars that solves people's problems, right? So that's my 2 cents on how to build generational wealth. Is you have to learn how to solve bigger and better and fancier and crazier problems. There is no rest, there is no finish line, there is no final goal. It's just like, what's the next hurdle? Can I accomplish it, or am I going to die before I get there? That's my 2 cents on how to create life-changing wealth.
Shoot, I think we're gonna start wrapping up the show after that fantastic note. Nate, do you have anything more to provide?
Well, yeah, I specifically I wanted to comment on that one. So, number one, what is life-changing money? I mean,
it's different things.
You
to
can say
different
all
people.
money is life-changing money, right?
exactly, right? So that's the number one question you got to ask yourself. What is life-changing money? I'll tell you what. Life-changing money for me is simply $4,000 a month, passive income. I don't have to do anything other than that. Now, does that mean I'm going to be riding around in Lambos, partying and going crazy? No, but I can retire. And after I retire, what happens after that? I can start doing other things that I want to do, right? Rather than being blue collar worker, right? So I would agree with Will and what he's saying specifically when it's like, hey, yeah, this is, well, you need that knowledge and everything, right? With where I want to take this, right? I want to kind of expand on specifically what it was you were talking about, Will, and saying, hey, you're getting the knowledge. That's the most important thing. You need to get the knowledge to be able to make the money. You need the knowledge to be able to solve a problem. So that's your number one first step. But then after that, you then need the understanding of that knowledge. Do you actually understand what it is that is in your brain? Right? I would say those are probably the most important things. And so once you understand, then you can take action after that. And then move from there. Taking that same knowledge, understanding what the knowledge means, and just applying it throughout life. And obviously, as like Lady Luck loves to do, throws you opportunities at all times. Here, there, here, there. You have the knowledge, and you have the understanding of that knowledge. Simply take those opportunities and say, okay, here's what I can do with it. When life gives you lemons.
Or as Moonpill Rational Optics here says, when money is no longer the focus, your life will change. That's well said, my friend.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
This has been a fantastic stream. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. We're going to start wrapping it up. Nate, where can people find you?
You can find me at the Ascending Man YouTube channel. Again, I'm still kind of setting it up a little bit. I got to get a mic and cam and all that. It's in the process. As soon as I do, I'm going to start actually streaming by myself. It's not necessarily going to be crypto related, but it will definitely have a lot of crypto elements to it for sure. But there's a lot of other things I would like to talk about. The very first one is, the death of crypto. I have that one planned. I really want to get this one through because this is something that kind of, when I really started looking into it, it blew my mind, right? The death of crypto and the coronal mass extinction event that we are 700 years overdue for will delete all of technology on planet Earth. Now, is it actually going to happen? I don't know. Maybe we'll protect ourselves from it somehow, some way. But it is something I would like to talk about. Obviously, the DGen Roundtable is not a place to talk for that, especially if it can go for maybe more than 2 hours. So, yes, I am going to be. I'm going to start doing that type of thing. I got a lot of other ones kind of down the pipeline, but this is just, I guess you could call it a pet passion project of mine, in which I would just simply like to get on stream and talk about something that's on my mind. And then everybody here, if you want to join in, because I know y'all are big brains, then yeah, come ask me questions and we can kind of dive into those questions together. So yeah, what's going on, Will?
Oh, what's going on with me is I am just chilling out over here in St. Louis up until the 2nd of November, where I will be flying on over to Miami, where Josh, Brendan, Antoine and I will be attending the Cardano Summit down in Miami, in Florida. We'll be hanging down there, having a good time, smoking cigars, doing chats, driving around, hanging out, going to rooftop bars or whatever the hell we've got on the docket. I haven't really looked at all this stuff, but we're going down there for the Cardano Summit. So for those of you who are interested in Cardano, I personally know almost nothing about it. So this will be a learning experience for me. But for those of you interested in Cardano, there's going to be a summit down in Miami and also in Dubai if you're feeling like going over to Dubai. But that's what I got going on. You can find me at linktree/Will Stevenson. My socials are all down below in the description. If you wish to hit me up with your location, I will put I will either so specify, if you do reach out to me on Telegram, specify whether you want to have an in-person interview with me as I travel around the states doing my ironworking stuff, or if you want your information placed on the Hexagon Meetup Excel spreadsheet document, which we have floating around in our Telegram. It's essentially just like an information sheet that talks about that says like, hey, these are areas where hexagons are at. These are their contact information, blah, da, da, da. I think in the future, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be setting up Telegram rooms with area corresponding separate sub rooms within a room. So basically like have an America Telegram room, a Europe Telegram room, an Asia Telegram room, and then sub rooms from all of that. And it's just going to be, if hexagons wish to join it and set up meets and organize meetups in real life and things like that, similar to what the Pulse Chain Tour is doing, I think that would be really cool. But I'm going to be building that at some point in the very near future. So look forward to seeing that. Right as of now, it's just an Excel spreadsheet that I posted a link for in the Telegram chat. Speaking of, if you haven't already done so, go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, do whatever the heck for this channel. Join our Telegram chat. It's in the description below. You'll get to be a part of our DGen Roundtable community. You'll get to see all the stuff that we post in Telegram, be a part of our all of our community, all our little video chats that we do down there, all of our thoughts and all of our musings and all of our, just all the ins and outs of the things that we speak about. So hit that up. And Zenith, go ahead and close us out, bro. That's all I got.
Absolutely, will do. So for the DGen Roundtable, thank you for joining us for our Sunday stream. We have another guest coming up on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be meeting with Hexfire as our special guest of the week. After that, for the next Sunday, we're going to be back to a little more of regularly scheduled programming. We will have the full crew back in action to go through our usual topics. So we look forward to getting back to action and seeing you then. And then additionally, big thank you to our last guest who came on, a Wild SJ, on Wednesday. We had a great chat with her. She's actually notably known as the audiobook narrator for Richard Hart's book, Sci-Vive. So give her a check out. And if you're interested in the Pulse Chain Tour, they're going to be in Austin, Texas on November 4th and Phoenix, Arizona, November 18th. So with that said, additionally, sorry, Will, what you got?
I was going to say, I don't know if you were about to cover this, but you and I, Zenith, I believe, we are going to be chatting with RG3 at some point. We haven't set up the exact details yet. We're still working out the fine tuning and everything, but we're looking to have Zenith and I represent the DGen Roundtable on Chatting with a Captain over on RG3's show. I had meant to mention that earlier, but so it's been said. I don't know if I just stole your thunder out from under you.
No, you're good. That is also coming up. Date to be specified. However, big thank you to RG3 for coming on the channel. He has also invited some of us out back to his channel to have us on and share some love. So we are very appreciative and looking forward to that. Only last thing going on with the channel is my project, Book Club. We are doing Reminiscences of a Stock Operator on November 10th. That is 2 Fridays from now. Pencil it into your calendars. Will, what you got on that?
It's also the Marine Corps' birthday. Semper Fidelis, for those of you out there who happen to be Marine Corps such as I. Semper Fi, Marines. Marine Corps birthday, November 10th. Don't you all forget it. Ton Tavern, 1775, baby.
Yeah, if you forget it, then you hate Will.
Yep, exactly.
Alrighty, that is what's going on with the channel. We, as always, want to thank you so much for spending your time with us here. We hopefully entertained you a little more than usual tonight with some game shows and a little bit of a project talk and briefly going through news and TA. So as always, thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you again. Till then, bye-bye.